I love that all the teachers just got really quiet and like turned around and faced forward. That's very telling, very telling. Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for being here. It is 6 p.m. on Thursday, June 4th, and I would like to call this meeting of the Jamestown School Committee to order. If you could, Allison, in the minutes, make it be known Lisa Tuttle is not with us this evening, but the rest of us are. Allison, you look worried. Are you having technical difficulties? Okay. Could you please sing that like a Lego character? Thank you. With that, I would love to ask everyone if they could stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, everyone. I believe we have some student presentations this evening. We're going to start with grade 2. That's you? All right. Well, you're very tall for a second grader.
Well, yeah, for once I'm being called so that's great. So hello, everyone. Thank you so much for having us again this year. This is our second year presenting our Build a Boat project with second grade. So I'm representing Connecticut Island Sailing Foundation. And I do also have to say that this year and last year, our Build a Boat program was supported by Jeff. So we're really grateful for that.
We know who you are, but could you say who you are?
I am Haley Barber.
Thank you.
Yep. Great. The Haley Barber. Whoa. So thank you so much for having me. Okay. I think it's so much easier talking to people, not this way. So, great. Can I talk like this? Way easier. Okay, so thank you so much for coming, especially our second grade stars. So this awesome project, I was actually reminiscing, this is our 8th year doing Build a Boat with the Jamestown school system. I started, that's actually how I got into the Jamestown school system with CISF. I was brought on 10 years ago as a program director, and I was like, hey, I have this idea. And the principal at the time was like, hey, yeah, you can do that with second grade. So and then I've built the relationship with the Jamestown School since then. So this is really kind of the beginning of a lot, actually. A very fruitful relationship. So I was brought on, and then we restarted 3 years ago, actually, kind of post-COVID. So this year, I was also smart, and I actually brought in another colleague to help me, which I'm not gonna lie, was a game changer. Who knew help would be so helpful. And because most of my job, one is to teach students boating principles, engineering principles, and the product of making a boat. So the students have the scratch remember that day I was like, we're making a boat. And I gave them paper, and they thought about what they thought about boats, and they drew pictures. And then we really built up, and I handed them wood, and I would cut it. It's actually why I choose balsa wood, because I can cut it with like a box cutter. So I do the cutting, and it's some pre-cut. I come with pre-cut, and they have sandpaper, and that's all the help I do. They do the gluing. They do the sandpapering. So much sandpapering, right, kids? So much sandpapering. And the neat thing about balsa wood is you can really change the shape really dramatically with sandpaper. So technically with all wood you can do that, but second grade strength, balsa wood's best. And we built up sails, and then this, I think 2 weeks ago, so it was about a 9-week project. I would come in for 45 minutes per class. 2 weeks ago we had our final test, and we did 2 sets of tests this year. We did speed test, so we had a distance of a pool, or a container, a fan, and we would keep it the same speed, and then with a timer we would do 3 times 3 tests to see how fast their boat went, and we'd see the average. And then this year, we also did a maximum capacity, so the weight, how much weight their boat could hold, and we used pennies, and so lots of pennies. And so that was great too, because that really, I mean, it's boats, every boat has a maximum capacity, so that was pretty neat. We also have some folders, so hopefully when you come and chat with the kids, you can look at their folders of all their tests, their original design, and their test information. And I think this is important when we talk about speed, and especially in the sailing community, we talk about classes, you know, in race classes, how big your boat is, depends on what class you're in, and we actually talked about how you can see there's a wide variety of boats shapes on the table, so we divided them into class too. So a tiny little boat is not the same as a big boat. So that was very successful, and the kids did an awesome job. And so I would love for all of you, if you have any questions for me, but really it's the kids who did the hard work. So does anybody have any questions, or Leanne, do you have anything to add? Yeah, please. No, absolutely.
So I just wanted to mention that this is, oh hi, Leanne Tureen. This is a great connection to our science curriculum. One of the units is about solids and liquids. While we didn't do buoyancy or anything with floating or sailing, we did talk a lot about the properties of materials and, like, you know, what material would make a great sail, or what material would make a good boat. And they had a lot of great background knowledge, so they were able to really make that jump from up the solids and liquids unit to this fun project, really engaging. So that's all I wanted to say.
Thank you so much. Do any of you have any questions before we hand it to the kids? Great. Yeah, I would love for you to come around. Yeah. Yes, I mean, I'm okay with that. Are you all okay with that? Great.
our students design, build, and pilot their own remotely operated
Scholars, these boats are excellent. Could you all grab your boat and stand up there with Miss Haley and maybe with Miss Tureen for a picture? I'll slide out of the way. Thank you so much, second graders, for coming out. We do have another student presentation from the sixth graders. So if the second graders can hold tight for this presentation, and then after this presentation, we'll before we get into like the meeting, we'll let you guys take a minute and leave, okay? All right. Grade 6, Sea Perch.
Hello, everybody.
The hottest thing in robotics is happening in pools across the country. And it's all in the hands of middle schoolers.
This is Sea Perch.
An experiential underwater robotics program where students The hottest thing in robotics is happening in pools across the country. And it's all in the hands of middle schoolers.
That's a great idea.
So we move on to certificates, Mr. Alfred, Ms. Tuttle.
No pressure. Sure.
So, the Rhode Island Interscholastic.
Can I ask a question, Mr. Alfred? So is there like a financial piece of information that maybe other kids don't know that you think everybody should know? That you remember? Nothing? Okay. No worries. I'm putting you on the spot. It's okay. I was just curious. Okay. Thank you.
That's amazing. Congratulations. So, would $250 buy a new sound system? I'm just asking for a friend.
Closed caption up in here. All right, I'm just going to try one more thing. I apologize and appreciate everyone's patience. that's what I was gonna do on my computer.
The hottest thing in robotics is happening in pools across the country. And it's all in the hands of middle schoolers.
Start both. You want to start both at the same time? Ready? We're gonna cue it up.
Go.
Go.
The hottest thing in robotics is happening in pools across the country. And it's all in the hands of middle schoolers.
This is Sea Perch.
An experiential underwater robotics program where students design, build, and pilot their own remotely operated vehicles. And it's so much cooler than your dad's science fair volcano. It begins here, at Lawn School in Jamestown.
The Sea Perch program that I'm teaching is about creating real-world learning pathways for our students.
Everyone starts with the same glorious mess of PVC pipe and motors. Then comes the engineering, physics, and of course, some problem solving.
It won't go up. Go straight, go straight, go straight.
My group had some complications.
It's a lot harder than expected.
Sea Perch isn't just about building a robot that moves, it's about figuring out why it doesn't.
Why it sinks, why it spins in circles, why your perfect design suddenly has the aquatic grace of a shopping cart.
Okay, so once the student engineers have their robots and they've tested them and they've practiced, now it's competition time.
Jamestown. I love Jamestown. 6 minutes, you'll get 2 points.
At Sea Perch events, teams navigate obstacle courses, complete underwater missions, and present their designs. This is hands-on, real-world engineering.
One of the unique things about this program is that we're bringing different career options to them.
There are ingenuity and engineering skills. High skill, high tech, high wage jobs. Think about engineering as a career.
Jamestown Group 1.
It's innovation.
It's engineering.
It's science.
It's a bunch of kids building underwater robots and quietly becoming the people who will run the future. Not bad for middle school.
Love the collaboration of putting the whole thing together and having a really terrific program and having it
So this is a perfect time if we have to do dinner or bedtime or anything like that. But before, it's a little early, but before you guys leave, I just want you to know we love seeing things like this because this is everything that we heard from our community members that they want to see more of in our schools. So I really appreciate it when you guys come out and share this stuff with us. So thank you for being here
And
tonight.
please thank your teachers, Mr. Alfred, Mrs. Tuttle, Miss Haley. Please thank your teachers.
Maybe build a real boat next that you can ride in.
Thank you all so much for coming out and sharing with us. Yeah. So this is the far, less hands-on interactive section of the business meeting. But we're up to item number 1, which is public forum. Are there any members of the public remaining who would like to address the committee?
I'll just give one more kudos, though, I think, just to shout out, yes, the teachers, Mr. Alfred, so awesome, the CPERT stuff, but also the Lon TV stuff, and Mr. Mike and Hannah, awesome job. Hannah, awesome job as the MC and the showrunner for the Lon TV stuff. I love the Lon TV channel. That's like such a great development. So may it live long.
So last call for public forum.
I do just want to state to you, I know Charlene stepped out, but while this was her program that she started, I inherited it, but I really could not have without that connection
Yeah.
of having her on loan to the Gems Net Navy STEM program, because not only is she a text away as my friend, but like in the middle of class, I can send her a message and she'll shoot me links. She'll be there. She basically taught the Sea Perch to me so that I could give it to the kids. And
Yeah.
I was like, how much do I want? How much do you want me to do? And I'm like, you do it first period, I'll do it second period. Like, so without that collaboration and that connection there, that Jamestown School has, and I wasn't the only one that the Navy STEM Gems Net that she worked with. So it just that part of the program, having that connection and that collaboration is key to all of our staff.
Here, here. Yeah. We were just saying good stuff about you.
Yeah, it's been so much fun. It's really been cool to see things morph and change. And another shout out to CISF, because one year we used the underwater camera, their underwater camera, and then said, oh, we should get some. And forgive me, I don't remember, it was JEF or PTO
Right.
that bought the cameras, but then we were able to use those. So again, it kind of keeps morphing, and then to take it and bring it to another level and do something else with it. It's,
I was
more minds the
I
better.
was shouting out your on loan position to Navy STEM Gems Net, how that, me being in a new role, your role, your connection, our collaboration was the only way I was able to make it through this year. So. Just to, so sorry to repeat for the microphone. So Mr. Alfred is giving huge kudos to Mrs. Tuttle for connection with the GEMS program. And thank you. So the Jamestown Education Foundation and Connecticut Island Sailing Foundation, like, are so incredible to the kids in the schools and this, but honestly, the passion that the teachers, like both of you and Ms. Kittredge behind you, like, it's incredible what you do for the kids. Like, it's great that you do these programs, but it's not just you execute these programs. Like, what you embed in these kids is special. So can't thank Mr. Alfred, Ms. Tuttle, and Ms. Kittredge, like, and all the teachers here. Total incredible job you do with all the kids. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm sorry. Yes,
love Ms.
sorry, Ms.
Conley.
Conley.
Wow, I feel like we should just go home now. Like, how do we beat that? So now we're up to item number 2, which is the consent agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
A second.
Okay, so that was a second by Josh. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay, so that brings us to item number 3, which is reports, and we will start with the superintendent's report.
Thank you, and thank you to all of our teachers and staff that are still here. Wonderful job. Appreciate it very much. So, we'll start with the enrollment update, and the enrollment remains the same as it did last month at 393. If you looked at the military, you'll notice that it's about 4 less, and that is because that number has been updated, and Jeanette updates that number as those surveys come in where families indicating whether they would be with us or not. But the overall number has remained the same since last month. Okay. In terms of district updates, I thought I would give a year-end reflection toward the goals that I set with the school committee at the beginning of the school year. And I won't go into too much detail because we've talked about these before. But for goal number 1, that was by the end of the 2025-26 school year, 77% of Jamestown students will demonstrate typical growth in reading and/or meet grade level proficiency on iReady reading diagnostics. Mid-year and/or end of year of those students, at least 57% will reach their stretch growth goal, representing a 5% increase in typical growth and 10% increase in stretch growth from the spring of 2025. For our special education subgroup, 75% of students will demonstrate typical growth, and/or meet grade level proficiency with at least 40% achieving stretch growth. This reflects 10% increase in typical growth and 10% increase stretch growth, accelerating progress to close reading gaps and ensure equitable outcomes. At this time, we still do not have our end-of-year iReady data. That will probably be ready sometime the 10th. Okay, so when we get that, I will update you on that. But just as a reminder, let's see, when I gave you a mid-year report as of January 2026, 80% of our students were at or above grade level in reading, and 52% of our students had already met typical growth, and 24% of the students had achieved stretch growth by mid-year. In terms of our special education subgroup analysis, as of January 2026, 76% of the special education subgroup had already demonstrated grade level proficiency at mid-year. Okay, goal 2, by the end of the 2025-26 school year, we will increase the awareness of chronic absenteeism with family members responding favorably to the Survey Works question, how much do you think missing at least 2 days of school a month impacts a student's chance of graduating high school, from 56% to 60% compared to the 2025 Survey Works data. While we did not meet our goal of 60%, the district still demonstrated a slight improvement, increasing 1 percentage point compared to the 2025 results. These results indicate that continued communication and family engagement around the importance of regular school attendance remain an important area of focus for the district. Goal 3, by the end of the 25-26 school year.
David, can I just interrupt you real quick on goal 2, just to clarify? So it did hit 60, right? Or no? No, okay. Got it.
Where our goal was 60, and we went to...
Oh, the goal was from 56 to 60. Sorry,
57.
I was just reading the wrong box.
Yes,
Okay.
yes. We increased by 1 point. I guess even though we didn't hit 60, we're still moving in the right direction. In terms of goal 3, at the end of the school year in the area of special education services, we will increase the number of family members responding favorably to the Survey Works statement, the school communicates regularly with me regarding my child's progress on IEP goals, from 69% to 90%. And the 90% would have gotten us back to the 2024 results. And again, based on the results of our 26 Survey Works data, the area of special education services, 79% of our family members responded favorably to the statement that schools communicate regularly with me regarding my child's progress on IEP goals. And again, while we did not meet our goal of 90%, the district still demonstrated meaningful progress, improving 10 percentage points compared to 2025. This growth reflects the continued efforts of our staff to strengthen communication and partnerships with families in support of student success. And the last goal was, by the end of the school year, we would collaboratively with other stakeholders create our 26 through 2031 Jamestown School Department Strategic Plan. I'm proud to say that our 26 to 31 strategic plan is organized around 2 overarching focus areas: student experience and system capacity. To support students within those areas, the plan identifies 4 district priorities designed to guide our work over the next 5 years. So under student experience, priority 1, rigorous, supportive, inclusive learning for all. Priority 2, real world learning for all. And then under system capacity to support students, priority 3, partnerships for student success. Priority 4, talent sustainability and stewardship. Together, these priorities are intended to ensure that all students are supported academically, socially, and emotionally, while also strengthening the systems, partnerships, and resources necessary to sustain long-term success for the Jamestown School Department. I'm just going to go ahead and jump down here and give you a summary of the progress. The completed strategic plan was uploaded to the RIDE strategic planning system on June 1st of 2026, where it was marked ready for review. And as feedback comes back from RIDE, I will make those revisions to the plan. And a copy was exported and shared with our leadership team and our school committee members. And let me say this about the strategic plan. It's very comprehensive. Because of the way RIDE designs that system, you end up with probably more goals than you could probably accomplish in a school year. but I think we ended up with like 14 or 15 goals. But I think next year that it is possible to pull 3 to 5 of those goals out and make some headway. The only one of the things that I regret is I'm not going to be here to see this strategic plan through, because it absolutely will move the district in the direction that you want it to go. And that is that's all one other thing with the AI task force, we did meet, and for the most part, there may have been just a couple of people out of that entire group that signed up that did not attend. So there's around 20 folks or more that attended last Wednesday. Vanessa Miller led that session for us. Lots of dialogue about just a lot of the tensions around AI and AI in education. The group looked at our current draft policy, our current draft guidance, and because that was the first opportunity for external stakeholders, because we had teachers and staff there, we had community members there, we had families there, even our state senator Dawn was there. So lots of good participation there. That group in terms of transition, I've kind of passed that baton to Amanda Bridges, who is excited to do that. So Amanda is one of our fellows, and had hoped to have Amanda come and speak to you tonight about what they're doing there, but her schedule's conflicted, so she wasn't able to do that. But anyway, so that AI Fuse program is still off to a good start. All right. Any questions? I know that was a lot, and I'm sorry to take up a lot of time.
You said that they reviewed the AI policy.
Yeah, well, not. That's not the only thing we did that night. We had a couple hours. That was one of the things. But yes, so they have. So what we decided was we're going to give them commenting rights. So those folks will get access to those documents and have commenting rights. And Samira and I met briefly today, and so she shared with me some of the comments that have been coming in, and how we've been revising those documents based on that.
Great. That was my only question. Anyone else?
Let's see. Oh, on to personnel.
Yes.
All right. So we have one retirement to share with you. Beverly Rudman is retiring at the end of the 25-26 school year, and Bev has worked in the school district since 2001 as a sub and as a long-term sub until she was hired permanently in 2014. She held positions as a reading specialist, special education teacher, and currently kindergarten teacher. And Ms. Rudman will also be recognized at our end of year celebration. And I have one leave of absence to share with you. Charlene Tuttle has requested a leave of absence for the 26-27 school year, and that has been granted.
Okay. Great. Well, I'm going to take each of those in turn and say, first and foremost, congratulations to Bev, and thank you to her for her many years of service to the children of Jamestown. And I hope that at your end of year celebration, you'll pass along the congratulations from the school committee.
Yes, absolutely. I'll do that. Yes.
And then to Ms. Tuttle, while we're so sorry that we don't get you in the classroom with our kids, I think that based on what we saw tonight, it's a much larger impact that we have with you on your leave of absence. So best of luck, and I can't wait to see how the program grows for next year, because it seems to keep getting better and better. Yeah.
Yeah, I was hoping to work part-time, but that wasn't an option, so we kind of left the door open. If something changes, then maybe there'll be a return, but at present I can't full-time. Yeah, I'll be around.
Awesome. Yeah, congratulations. Anyone else? All right. So I think that moves us on to item 3.2, which is the principal's reports and curriculum update. We're going to do curriculum first. Excellent.
Are we on? after all the wonderful presentations tonight. I just wanted to give you guys a quick update of where we are with the, we have certain initiatives from RIDE that we have to make sure that we're working within based on the 2019 legislation, and I gave you a report at the end of last year, so this was in your packet, so I don't know if you had a chance to look at any of it. I'm not going to go over all the details, but just to know that our math and our English language arts adoption, our curriculums in those areas we're well into those. Year 7 we're going to be going into with our mathematics program curriculum, and year 8 for our 6th, 7th, and 8th grade ELA curriculum, which is going well. And then we're going to be moving into year 6 with interreading. And so all those programs are well established. Teachers are using them, and also, you know, as needed and with agency, right? With that sense of, okay, I understand the curriculum, I know what I need to be doing, and I can make adjustments as needed. I look to Nick, right? Yeah. So more information there if you're interested about those 3 initiatives, but we're well on meeting our requirements for those. And if you flip over to the back, we also are in really good shape for science and social studies. So I'll address each one. So we needed to adopt a high quality curriculum based on state mandates by the fall of 2026. There's still some things that are being worked out at the state level, but we've decided to go ahead and move forward with Open SciEd. We've had great success with this. Really, it's inquiry based, it's discussion based. Again, I look to our experts over there, but that's been really going very well in grades 6 through 8. Was piloted this year in grade 5 as well, and then we're going to be starting with the elementary curriculum next fall. It's going to be a phasing in process in the elementary school, and of course our partnership with GEMSNet is invaluable, and that's how we're able to do such real quality science work, is work with them.
So question, will it be Open SciEd?
It will be.
The elementary school
Yes.
as well?
Yep.
Okay, so it's basically like
It's going to be our K-8 curriculum. Yep. And social studies. So social studies is slightly different. The requirements for social studies are not for us to adopt a RIDE approved curriculum, but rather to ensure we've adopted the standards. And so our work around that started last year in grades 3 through 8. Teachers starting to bring those standards into their classroom and into their work. And we'll continue that work next year in grades K through 2. And I just did put a list of some of the resources and textbooks that we have been using around social studies as our foundations. Teachers have that agency again to do project-based learning, to do some authentic learning experiences, civics projects, all kinds of things happening in social studies. And one of our goals is to definitely do a lot of professional learning for teachers around that, giving teachers time to develop those projects, to develop their curriculum. And in fact, I just had a wonderful meeting this afternoon with Faith Uchi from 2nd grade, who will be taking the lead on social studies in 2nd grade, and Kate Carlos, who's our librarian, and bringing we all came together and planned some pretty, I think, fun projects for the 2nd graders next year related to social studies. So the work is ongoing. Yeah, so is there any questions you have about any of the initiatives? We are, I think, on track to meet all the requirements that RIDE has set out for us, so all those areas. Okay, all right, thanks very much.
Thank you, Jen.
Thank you.
Before we move on to the next presentation, I just publicly want to thank Jen for all that she does. She's considered a curriculum coach, I think, but her role entails much more than that. So we couldn't do what we do without you, so thank you.
Thank you, David. I appreciate that.
You guys know that I feel kind of strongly about pictures, so there's a flyer, and if you don't need it yourself, because you may have gotten it already, please drop it off somewhere in town. We are right now currently collecting clothing and books, as well as household items for a fundraiser that our student leadership team started. They're really hoping to update, and some of our garden boxes are falling apart out back, and so they're hoping to have some new ones added to more of our garden initiative. And so this is a fundraiser. What happens is we collect all the items, and then the Epilepsy Foundation Donation Center comes with a big truck, and we pile it all in, and then they weigh it, and they gave us a check for whatever the weight of all the items is. So it's really an easy fundraiser and a cool one, and it's great for them because they get to help, and so that's also in there. So, good evening, you guys. I'm thrilled to share the final update for the school year of 25-26. We are going to focus on the incredible momentum that's happening at Melrose right now as we balance that momentum, but also with our traditions, our June traditions, and then the changes that are coming forward with our new school improvement plan based on our new strategic vision. So I'm going to start a little bit with some of the capital and campus improvements. If you haven't walked over to Melrose and Lawn and noticed the big, beautiful new greenhouse, you should definitely do that. That greenhouse was funded by both the PTO and the Jamestown Education Foundation to support our outdoor learning and that garden initiative. It's stunning. I feel like I'd like to move into it. If it didn't have so many windows, it's and probably is a little steamy in there. It's beautiful. So please come visit it. Additionally, our STEM and technology grants that we talked about this time last year that we had received, we have about $100,000 in the grant funding that's been almost nearly spent on a state-of-the-art technology, flexible furniture in our STEM lab and in our math lab. And we're going to do a public showcase of that new STEM lab and those math labs next fall, so fall of 2026. So we can get everything in place, and at that point we'll also have our third grade classrooms that will be redone. Peter's met with the third grade team and finalized what kinds of redesign elements they want in their classrooms, and that construction and installation starts over the summer.
Before you move into that, you mentioned Peter, and I would be amiss if I didn't take this opportunity. Monday night when we were in that gym for the town financial meeting, it looks like a whole new gym. It's gorgeous. And given what he does and what he trains his guys to do, I can only imagine what those classrooms are going to look like in the fall when he's done with them.
And I think it's also important to mention that he has a vision for all of these things when he does it. He's not just walking in and trying to make something new and better for our classrooms. His vision is down to the color, down to the location of things, but he doesn't do it on his own. He does it in a collaboration with the people that are going to be in there. And I think that's so, I love working with Peter, and I he doesn't like it when anyone recognizes him, but I think we're going to do it anyway, and so we just did. The second part you'll see when you jump down is going to talk about student leadership and community and attendance celebrations. Student leadership is a really big thing for me as a leader. I feel like every child needs an opportunity to be a leader. It's really important to me, and we've done a ton with that since I'm going to be moving into year 6 at Melrose, and the things that children say to me around leadership and wanting to share and stand up, come up here to the school committee. Yes, we ask if they want to, but the students are the ones that take it upon themselves. Those kids, those second graders, were so excited to tell you about what they did tonight. They've been talking about it all week. So that's awesome, and I hope that we can continue doing that. Also through that clothing and book drive for the flyer, the students in the leadership team come up with their own service project. They talk about around the school the kinds of things that they want to do. This one started off more, they were thinking more pets, but when they walked out to the gardens and saw the, the kind of the way they were looking out there, and then this beautiful greenhouse, they started talking about how maybe they could somehow build new gardens. I thought maybe it might be better to allow a professional to do that. So this is our second step here, but this is all their idea, and I'm proud of them for it. And then the other piece that's under student leadership, community, and attendance is about the Melrose Art Show, and I think Erica's still here. And every year, I think she can't outdo herself, and every year she does. So I want to say thank you to her and to Erin Preston and to Kate Carlos for the work that goes into the Melrose Art Showcase. Mrs. Connolly and the students showcased their year-long cultural study of indigenous cultures with a specific focus on the Narragansett peoples. And
as long as we're talking about project-based learning and all of those community connections, you guys have been doing this. I mean, Erica and Erin, and you've been doing this for, I think, since Marade was in Melrose, which is a long time ago. And it's true. I don't know. I never know what's going to come next, but it's always something more amazing than what we saw last year. So kudos to you and thank you for doing this every year. It's magical. It's really magical.
I went this year because somebody convinced me to go last year, and I happened to see Drew in the hallway, and he was like, "What are you doing here?" I was like, not only do I think it's awesome, I brought my neighbors. That's how fantastic it is. It's worth the night going there. Thank you very much. Yeah.
And the time, I mean, Erica can be found at Melrose at 10 o'clock at night if she's allowed to stay. That's how many hours she puts into this, from the smallest minute detail of every child getting a pin that says they're an artist as they walk around and showcase, to every single project with a sign that says how it's done, why it connects to the cultural study, and then pictures of every single project that the children do from the first step they take till the last step that they take. The time that goes into that and the energy is like nothing I've ever seen. And so I just want to say thank you for that.
Can I just make one quick comment before you move on to the next section? Because you made a comment about the leadership education that's happening at Melrose, and it really stuck with me because I think it's a great example of the importance of teaching leadership even at this level, whether it's leadership of others or more importantly self-leadership, because it really highlights how do you take your education into the world, because strong leaders are willing to do that, whether it's through their art or through the projects that they're doing. And so like I think it's a really important piece that talked about how at this level, at this age, how leadership connects to what they're actually learning and how they apply it. So kudos and appreciate it.
Thank you. And that's from all of our teachers. As we're talking about like the art showcase and the cultural theme, we have things like Phil Capaldi partnering with Miss Connolly and bringing in speakers into the 4th grade classrooms to talk to them about the Narragansett tribe and their people and where they came from and their specialties with jewelry, and I can't even, all of those things are things that kids are gonna walk away from. And one particular 4th grader said to me as I was gluing on the backs of pins onto their getting ready for the evening, she said, Mrs. Roman, I have all of my pins from every year that I've been a part of the showcase and my mom gave me a ribbon and I have them all hanging in my bedroom. So that in and of itself shows how much that the work that they do impacts kids. So I said more than I was going to. That was like a tiny little paragraph and I talked too much. But the other one's a bigger paragraph, but I don't need to say as much about it. We were honored by the RIDE and the Rhode Island Football Club. They have an Attendance Matters Challenge, and we won for being the best attended elementary school in Rhode Island for week number 2, which means a bunch of our students received free tickets to the RFC soccer game this coming Saturday. And those students were ones that had very low absences, either 0 or low absences for this school year. And in addition, every other student at Melrose had an opportunity to do a buy one, get one free. And this weekend is Kids Fest at the soccer game. So we'll have a couple kids that get to stand up to be leaders and go down on the field. So that will be really fun. And then this is where we get to start to talk about the traditional things that we love to do because the people that we work with are so amazing. On the 19th of May, we had a volunteer thank you breakfast for volunteers that volunteer at both Melrose and Lawn, our PTO, seniors that come and help, and we had representatives from all of those groups. We had a beautiful breakfast that was put on by teachers and staff from Melrose, and it was a really nice morning. We also have a whole bunch of field trips that just happened. So the picture you see is our grade 4 students who took the ferry across to Rose Island with Miss Connolly and the 4th grade teachers and had a beautiful, the most perfect weather day to do it. Our 3rd grade went to Mystic Aquarium. They also got an amazing day. And our grade 2 just visited the zoo. So we've had some really beautiful days this week for those students, and a lot more field trips coming up. Every grade level does at least one field trip where they get to either take a bus or get off site, and that I think is funded by our district. In addition, sometimes the PTO and Jamestown Education Foundation help with certain aspects, but as a district, we put funding into that every single year, and it's such a special piece for our kids and important. So on Friday, tomorrow, we're going to have our pre-K kids will be celebrated in their pre-K celebration where they sing and show some of their work, and we'll have all of our littlest learners on stage. On June 10th, our 3rd and 4th grade families will come to see our 3rd and 4th grade sing. But in addition, what we added last year was to do a little bit of a recognition ceremony for our 4th graders. We know they're not graduating, but they are moving on, and it's a big deal. And so it's really nice to be able to recognize them. And then Joe Uchi, who is another amazing member of our specialist team, creates the most incredible field day / cookout / STEM magician show for June 11th. It's a wonderful day, and again, our PTO helps us. He's been hard at work for long hours, creating schedules, and we welcome a lot of volunteers that day too. So many families come out to help support that day, so thank you to them. Right after, we have our 4th grade fun day and our end of year celebration where we'll announce the teacher of the year and the support professional of the year. And then on the 16th, we have another traditional thing that happens at Melrose. It's called the Penny Carnival, and the 4th graders have been hard at work creating and building their carnival games, and then the whole school brings pennies and they get to play the games, and whatever money is raised, the 4th grade decides to come up with a charity, whatever charity that is, and they get to donate that. And then finally, there's so many other things, but a few other things. On the 18th, we'll have the kindergarten celebration. We don't do as much of a formal graduation as we used to for kindergarten because they're, again, really not graduating. They're going on to 1st grade. And so this year we're honoring them with we still want the parents to come, but we're doing popsicles with parents and giving them a certificate. And then lastly, we do a move-up day. So students won't know their exact classes for next year, but they will see the teachers that will teach at the grade level that they go to in the fall, and so matching a face with a name is always helpful to reduce that anxiety. Any questions on any of that? All right. So this is where we start to talk about our successes. Melrose does have most of their data done. We have all of our reading data done and almost completed with our math. Should be done on Friday, and it's unbelievable. So when you look at that data, you can see spring is at the top. That's us right now. And the top one is reading. 76% of our students placed mid or above grade level and 16% placed at early on grade level. So incredible. You know, I just don't, is that nine, what did I do? Am I doing the math right? 92% of our students are proficient in reading at the end of this year. Down below in math, 71 of our students achieved mid or above grade level, and 20% are early on grade level. It's funny, I meet with all the teachers, and we met at every grade level to look at the data today, and kindergarten specific. One teacher's like, well, my math wasn't as good as my reading. I'm like, you're at 80 and 87, so there's no complaining there. So another phenomenal, 91% of our students at Melrose are proficient in math based on the iReady testing. And then finally, our strategic roadmap. So Jen mentioned some of the things that are going to happen for next year, so I'm not going to say those again. We do have social studies and science. We also have an adoption of Simplify Writing, which is going to replace, we're going to pilot Simplify Writing. We've loved the into reading part of our curriculum, but we haven't been as happy with the into writing. We feel like it's missing a few things, and so we've had one third grade teacher and a fourth grade teacher piloting some of the units at the end of this year in Simplify Writing, and they love it. So next year, everybody is in agreement to really give it a go with the Simplify Writing to replace the into writing. We're still keeping our into reading. This will just be some more specific teaching of writing for next year. And because at the elementary level, there's 3 new curriculums, our teachers talked with each other. We met in CPTs, and in grades 1 to 4, we have staff that would like to specialize a little bit in specific content areas. So we've been working in our common planning time to do schedules that design and maximize co-teaching with our interventionists, and really look at small group intervention time. So I'm really looking forward to that. We've never done any specialization at the first grade level, but I'm looking forward to seeing how that goes, and our first grade teachers are excited too. We will have 3 first grades next year, so it makes it easier. They're each picking one of those topics, and they will move with students. So the other thing I wanted to point out is my principal's post is online, but I sent out to all Melrose families our draft of the school improvement plan that we just shared with all the entire school, as well as our school improvement team. And it's a draft. We've made a lot of changes to it, but I'd like to see if we can get some more feedback from the families that are out there. I really feel like this is our roadmap. This is going to guide us. And so it's out there. If anyone who's listening or here would like to give some feedback, we'd love to hear it. And then finally, we had a full circle moment. NK High School in Narragansett did a senior walkthrough. We welcomed the graduating seniors from North Kingstown and Narragansett to our halls. It was nice because for the first time when they had the walkthrough, I saw some of my former students from my days as Melrose math interventionists. They didn't look the same at all. A lot taller, handsome and beautiful and funny, incredible standing in front of me. Most of them quite a bit taller, but it was just a testament to the legacy of Melrose School and this community and how lucky we are to be here. So down below you can see our first graders wanted to get in the picture with the seniors, and the seniors couldn't wait to get out to the playground and play, to go on the swings and go on the playground and play Gaga Ball. Well, it wasn't Gaga Ball. What were they playing, Nate? What's Foursquare? I don't know why I couldn't think of it. Foursquare. And then you can see 2 of ours that have connections with kids already in our school. So that was nice. So it's a little emotional too.
I mean, Beth, I just have to say, it's all so wonderful and dreamy. It's like, so many schools talk about interdisciplinary learning, and so many schools talk about, true external partnerships coming into the classrooms. And schools talk about growth in reading and growth in math. And just to sit here tonight and hear about all of these examples of all of those things happening makes me so proud to be up here and a part of this. And just thank you all so much for everything you do for our kids. This is all amazing, amazing.
Thank you. Well, thank you for what you guys do, because you support us, and we couldn't do it without you. So, thank you.
All right, so at the lawn school, we have a lot of terrific things going on, really busy time of year. So I want to highlight just a few great things that have come up and then talk about some things for next year. So some things that have recently happened, in 5th grade, they made a terrific banner to participate in the Memorial Day Parade. It got rained out, but that might have been better for the actual banner. They went to the rec center and they could actually see the work where students were doing, connecting literature to the actual banner that was made, so it was really cool. In 6th grade, the chickens have hatched. So this year, Mr. Alfred and I think it was Ms. Froberg, we added a layer where we live streamed it, which is pretty cool. So a lot of people all the way down at Melrose could watch it. And so now it's not watching the eggs hatch; it's actually on the chickens. So it's pretty exciting. It's a lot of fun. The 7th grade, they visited the Mystic Aquarium. They've done that for many years. They dissected the squid and connected scientific sketching to writing, so it was very fun. 8th grade did their balloon project, which is a lot of fun. They enjoy that. We've done that for many years. And last year we added a layer to Miss Mooney's linear project where we had the Jamestown ladder truck come and we launched Barbies, doing a Barbie bungee jump off of a 50-foot ladder. That was really exciting for the kids, good way to excite them. We've done it off the roof for years, but this year the fire department decided to help us out. We just had our spring concerts. I'll tell you, they really were amazing, going to both 5th, 6th, then going to 7th and 8th, seeing the progression of how much they grow musically. This year we also added the element of art. So we had Miss Smith. We were projecting some artwork. We were also in the back. We had art on display of all the students. So that was the first time that we also had really terrific banners that the students made. But this is the first time we're displaying. So we're moving in that direction. I think it's wonderful.
Can I add one more shout out on the musical performances? Of course, we have the best music teachers at both schools in the world. But in addition, just to add on the Mrs. Connolly thing again too, because the backdrops for the concerts are always also amazing, and I just think more interdisciplinary integration of just really great work.
I 100% agree. They're wonderful. So let's see, the 4th grade students, they came to visit this week, and then today the 4th grade parents came to the lawn school, so it's just part of our transition as they move up. That went well. Beth mentioned the NK and Narragansett seniors did a walkthrough. I agree, it was fantastic. It was a busy day today because also right before this we were at the Rotary Club where we had the essay contest. So they were honoring all of our students who won an essay or poster on bravery. So that's another one of those community connections that we've been doing for years. I'll shout out to Brittany Onrud for organizing that. It's a really terrific thing. So those are just some things that have happened that are I think just fantastic. I could list many, many more that are just wonderful. But I wanted to mention a few things that we have planned for next year that I'm really excited about. You mentioned Peter Anderson, and I agree with the gym. So a few other things. We painted the gym. It looks fantastic. We also got 2 new scoreboards. So those scoreboards, one was up, but that's courtesy of the PTO. I know, Mr. Cowan, you mentioned it, and Beth was up here. The amount of things I'm going to mention from PTO, JEF, CISF, those connections and the support is outstanding. So I want to just definitely thank the PTO for that donation to help to make our schools better. The PTO also awarded a grant for the courtyard. So next year we'll have a Gaga ball pit. So the kids, Mr. Alfred, I think, was talking to me. 5th and 6th grade went to go see the opera, and then this is the past 2 years, there's a Gaga ball pit at Ninigret Park. So But we don't have much in the way for students to do things at the lawn school. So that will be next year. And so I know the kids will love it. Really super excited about
Does
that.
everybody know what that is? Because I don't know what that is.
It is an octagon of fun. All right. No, it's a game. What's it? It's a pen, but you put they all get in the Gaga pit, and you basically have to throw the ball against the wall. If you get hit, you're out. And slowly you get eliminated. But
It's like a gentler form of dodgeball in a contained outdoor octagon, right? Much gentler
super
form.
every time I say we're getting a Gaga,
It does. The way it's being described, it does. But it's literally, I had never heard of it before, but the
kids love it.
Parade introduced it to me, and anytime they see a Gaga ball pit anywhere, they go crazy for it.
So another, JEF is supporting another terrific thing. Mr. Alfred and I were talking about a weather station. So sixth grade they do a unit on weather events, hail. This is all part of the Open SciEd that we were talking about. So we used to have a weather station, and it's been gone now for a couple years. So we worked together, and we're going to be getting a weather station for next school year. And so that would be open to all the community. It would be based at the lawn school. It's internet based, so anybody could get whatever, if it's raining, snowfall, whatever, all the things that it measures. And then we also have 2 consoles which will be public for the school, probably at public places. One's going to be at Melrose and one's going to be at the lawn school. But anyone could have it on their Chromebook or your own computer or phone and get that weather information. So that's very exciting. Again, big shout out to JEF for supporting us. So next, I just want to talk briefly about some new courses that are planned for next year. And this is really a product of district strategic planning, our school improvement team. So in grade 5 next year, we're going to be adding a math lab. So that's going to be coming out of our flex period. So students in 5th grade will have an extra period of math. It won't be necessarily straight for like iReady, but it'll be an added math concepts that we see that they might need. In grade 6, we're going to be adding a class called robotics. Now, we've been doing this for years because it is basically C-Perch, but having it in our course catalog, I think, is important. So this is our commitment to what we're doing. You saw the video today, and we keep on adding to it because this is what we're doing. And again, this is coming from district strategic planning, where we're talking about the importance of experiential learning. We're talking about connections to careers and career tech learning. These kids all do go to CTEs, or not all of them, a lot of them do. So exposing them to opportunities. Now we'll say, okay, I want to do that in high school, or I don't want to do that in high school. So we're trying to really move in that area and give students those experiences. So they will have that in their schedule. We've been doing it for years, but now it will be actually in there. In 7th grade, Ms. Smith and Samira Hackey have been working on a class that we're adding called Engineering and Design. So that will come out of art class first quarter. Instead of going to art, they're going to go to Engineering and Design. And the idea behind that class is to utilize the really terrific things that we have in the makerspace. We have a CTC router. We have many 3D printers. We also have a Glowforge. So the idea is that kids will design things and actually build them in small groups, and that's in collaboration with our tech department. And then lastly, in grade 8, I'm in the process of putting in for a grant. There's a rural CTE grant that's available. It's a national grant that's it's $5 million a year for the next 5 years. So we are rural. So Jamestown classifies. There's only 13 communities that have this. And so if the basis of the grant is that if you are exposing kids to learning in rural healthcare careers, you can go for this money. So in 8th grade, we're going to have a class called Health Pathways. I've been working with Mr. Bush and the school nurses. So the idea is that for one of the quarters of health, they'll have health, and they'll have a Health Pathways course. All kids will be they'll be CPR certified, first aid certified, Stop the Bleed certified. We'll also have options to do the safe sitter training, but we're able to go for a lot of money for and also training all of our 4 staff to be CPR trained. So they'll start off getting this course through a virtual CPR course. But the idea is that going forward, every 8th grader that comes through, they'll come out with the CPR certification, which is the foundation of healthcare, knowledge, if that's what you're interested in. So that leads into CTEs, because right now we've got a couple kids that will go to SK. They do have a CNA program. There's a health medicine program at Narragansett, sports medicine, sorry. NK does not have it, but I am going to make an assumption that there's going to be a lot more healthcare. There's CTEs programs that'll become available in the future. So I'm really excited about that. I'll let you know, give you an update as that grant comes through, but I anticipate that we'll get that. Lastly, I'll just kind of go through several things that are coming up that are exciting. Tomorrow, the 8th graders are going to Boston. Tomorrow, the 5th graders are going to the Museum of Primitive Culture in the South County Museum. Let's see, on the 9th, we have the National Junior Honor Society, where we'll be honoring our 7th and 8th graders that made the National Junior Honor Society, that will be inducted into the National Junior Honor Society. On the 10th, I will send you an invitation. Last period of the day, around 1:30, we'll have our Genius Hour Showcase, where the 7th graders have been working hard at their individualized projects.
Miss Onrud sent it today.
I said, did you write the school committee? So she said, I didn't, but I will. Okay, good. So you should come to that. Really great projects. That's one of those classes that I've gone through. And we've really, it just gets better as we move along. Let's see. The end of the year celebration we were mentioning, or we'll honor the support professional of the year and the teacher of the year. That is on the 12th of June, next Friday. And that time is at 1:45. So if you're interested in coming to that, that's always a fun time. We will have music, and all the kids will come out. On the 16th, we'll have our awards ceremony, and then on the 17th will be graduation. I'll send you an invite for that. So if you want to sit on the stage and be a part of it, I know that we've had several of you. Did you come? I think everyone did. Maybe you did not, Josh. But I'll send you an invite and just let me know, and we'll have you up there. So I'm looking forward to graduation, and then we'll have the dance. We'll have our last day of school, and that's all in 10 days. And there's a couple things I skipped too. It's crazy. It's madness. Anyway, any questions for me?
The dance as well. Should we plan?
If you listen, it's me. Miss Jones, actually Miss Tuttle is coming to the dance. She is. So if you'd like to come, be fine. I don't know if Elijah won't.
That was a question from someone who has never chaperoned a school dance before.
Any questions from you?
Can I ask you about the CPERS program? Is that in school program or is it after school?
It's in school.
Okay.
In school.
So we
started after, correct?
The first year we did it as an after-school club, and then we did it in class at the
Okay. And the Lego robotics stuff is kind of
it's still
dwindled down.
It's very small. Lego robotics, I think maybe there's 7, 8, 9 kids. So we used to have several teams. Lego robotics used to have one. So I think maybe 7 or 8 kids.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah.
Yeah. If there's help next year that you need with the CPERS program, I'm happy to do whatever. After school is easier for me, but if there's in-school stuff, I can likely move stuff around. Just keep me in mind for, yeah.
Austin, I think you need to put that in the minutes.
No, don't put that in. No, I'm happy to, I did all the Lego robotics stuff, and I did the Science Olympiad with Mr. K and all that kind of stuff, but, so if there's help that you need, I'm happy to.
Awesome.
Okay.
Thank you.
Sure.
Great, thank you. That brings us into school committee reports. First up is CLAC, and that's usually Lisa. So I'm going to assume we have no report there. Melrose SIT.
Melrose SIT met last Thursday, the 28th, and that was the final meeting of this school year. Next meeting will reconvene once the school year kicks off. So. Primary focus for this session was reviewing and providing feedback on the draft of the 26-27 Melrose School Improvement Plan. And so Mrs. Ruman led us in a very hands-on review and feedback session, an editing session, I should say, of the document. And so all stakeholders were heard, and it was a pretty lively and productive meeting. So
Great. Next up is Lawn SIT, which is usually Lisa. So if you wouldn't mind, that'd be great.
Same thing for the lawn school. We did do a robotics presentation. We reviewed a lot of what we talked about at our district strategic plan. Talked a lot about that experiential learning I was just talking about, and that was all into going towards our school improvement plan. So those connections started to come together. So it's mostly development and feedback into developing our school improvement plan for 26, 27.
Great, thank you. North Kingstown High School.
I'll try to keep things brief, but there were 3 sessions, business meetings for the North Kingstown School Committee since we last updated, on the 5th of May, the 19th of May, and on June 2nd this week. Next meeting is June 16th. And just quickly, some of the high school highlights. The high school was recognized by the NAM Foundation as one of the nation's best communities for music education. So I think a true reflection of the strength of the music program and performing arts programs. So the district officially launched its new machinist and defense industry CTE program in partnership with Electric Boat, which has been building for most of this year. So it was great to see that the ribbon cutting happen. But again, creating another career-focused pathway for students, and I think definitely more evidence, similar to what Mr. Adams was saying, the priority for career-focused pathways alongside the traditional college pathways. It's good to see that stuff prioritized. So, and then construction work on the high school roof replacement project that'll begin immediately after the school year. And it's expected to be completed before students return in the fall, which will be good. And then a couple quick district-wide notes. At the June 2nd meeting, the committee heard a review of the district's new 26-29 strategic plan. And then on the policy front, the committee discussed implementation of the new cell phone policy, which was passed and will go into effect at the start of the 26-27 school year. So.
Great, thank you. Facilities.
Sure, we acknowledged a few of the facilities developments already. The beautiful paint job in the gym, which as far as I know was all Peter's vision, and kudos again to him. The capital improvements in some of the classrooms and the furniture improvements. So all of that is going really well, it seems. We've been meeting steadily every 2 weeks with the design team working on the facility, the master facility plan. And on Monday, we're meeting with the staff in a staff PD. And so the civic folks will be here meeting with teachers directly, getting feedback, running hopefully an informative session, and I'm sure an engaging session on what the plan is, and seeking teacher feedback from that as well. Immediately after the PD session with teachers, we'll have the facility committee will meet, which will involve some of the school leadership. Maybe we can figure out whether they actually need to attend both or can take a break that day if they just were in the PD with us. But also some community members who have been a part of that committee to talk about the ongoing progress. And then we had, as we talked about in the past, we had our first community meeting at the library back in April, and we've been having some conversations about when to have the next one, and we just decided that because there's so much happening at the end of the year, and people are pointing their eyes towards summer, we're going to pause and I think have that later, maybe towards like mid-August when people are gearing up for the start of the next school year, and there might be some new energy and ideas to come out of that. So we're targeting a mid-August for our second community meeting, probably at the library, and hopefully we can get a nice big turnout from folks to continue to weigh in on that plan.
Great, thank you. Next up is policy, and we usually meet the first Thursday of the month, which conflicts with this meeting. So we were going to go through and make comments on some of the policies that we had talked about in our May meeting, which are the AI policy that is going around to different groups in the school for feedback. And in concert with that is also the acceptable use policy. We are also still talking about our social media policy. And then as part of our new business, every year we are supposed to review our parent engagement policy as part of the Title I federal audit. So that will be something that we'll all also be looking at and giving feedback on. I know we talked about it briefly back in our May meeting as well. Yeah, and that's pretty much, it's been a relatively quiet time for policy. Next up is wellness.
So the Wellness Committee also wrapped up the sessions for the school year and ended with a review of wellness supports, including, but not limited to, nutrition-related supports for students, including nut-free tables in the cafeterias, allergy-free classrooms, fruits and vegetables with school lunches, free and reduced lunch programs. Also nutrition related for the staff, the monthly healthy ingredient potlucks, which I understand is a big hit. Mental health support systems for students, the Choose Love taught in every classroom, Kindness Club, leadership team, internet-based advisory, Art for Wellness meeting, and then also staff wellness, including the health portal through Rhode Island Trust, employee assistance program, book swaps, etc. So good, strong year for the Wellness Committee this year.
That's great. And last report will be the legislative report.
Yeah, the legislative session is essentially over. We have met with Senator Ewer and Rep. Finkelman a few times. The last thing that happened was Senator Ewer last minute sent a hearing that we couldn't go to around buses, and I never followed up with the results of that, David. I'm not sure if you did.
You talking about the one where she asked for input?
Yes, yeah.
Once I provided the input and Erica provided similar input to me, she just said that was just good information to know and everything else.
So we'll follow up in terms of like, after the session closes, which is supposed to be next week from my understanding, we'll get a review of all the bills that are passed that are related to schools, and we can review in the next update.
Perfect. Thank you so much. That brings us to item number 4, which is new business for discussion and possible action. With no town representative here tonight, is there anyone who would like to read the proclamation that's in our packet? Mostly just because I'm tired of hearing my own voice. No takers?
I'm happy to. I just switched to a different document here to follow along, but let me...
I do too, that I'd be glad to. Well, it was in here, I promise. Would one of you guys like to read it, or would you want me to read it?
I can read it. I've got it open now. Proclamation of the Town Council for Graduates Week. Whereas the Town Council of the Town of Jamestown recognizes the effort and perseverance that are necessary for the search for knowledge and excellence, applauds the achievements of all students associated with this community, and whereas graduation heralds not only the accomplishment of one level of that search, but also the commencement of the next, and whereas this community, like all communities across the nation, will one day reap the harvest of educational seeds of knowledge that are now being sown when our students reappear as informed, involved, community-minded citizens ready to take up the mantle of leadership in every field of endeavor. Now, therefore, let it be hereby resolved that the week beginning June 15th, 2026 through June 18th, 2026 be proclaimed Jamestown Graduates Week, and that the Town Council of the Town of Jamestown joins with all members of our community in extending sincere congratulations to those Jamestown students at every level of achievement who are members of the class of 2026, and be it further resolved that deep and sincere appreciation and recognition are hereby extended to all of those in the teaching community who have dedicated their lives and ambitions to the accomplishments and achievements of their respective students.
Hear, hear. Great. Thank you, Chris. That concludes the regular business meeting. However, I would like to make a motion to convene into executive session Can I have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Drew. Can we do a voice vote name roll call? I'll begin. Christine LaPierre, and I vote aye.
Josh Furtado, aye.
Drew Alsop, aye.
Christian Cowan, aye.
Right. We will be back. Our next upcoming meeting is to be determined. Similar to what Drew was saying about summer plans, I do believe we'll be having another one in June. I'm just unsure of the date. But that will be announced and posted on the Secretary of State website.
Thank you again.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Allison, I'm sure you don't. Allison, I'm sure you